Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned in. Well, let's start taking your stock related queries. But remember, you can write to us on the number that is flashing on the top of your screen. If you're already invested in a stock, do mention your buy price as well. If it's a fresh investment idea that you're looking for, don't forget to mention the investment horizon that you have in mind as well. So let's get started by taking our first query of the day. And we have Sambaseva Rao who's writing to us from Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. They're holding 15 shares of Thermax Hemen at a price of 4,540, and they're asking if they should be booking more losses or add more for the longer term then.
We're just about in the process of forming a short-term bottom. We, once again, like the rest of the market, we've had a humongous 4-year move. So time being, it's a recovery and not a rally. So if it's going to hold for a time frame of 18 months or more, it's a hold. Otherwise, it's a sell on bounce. You can also add some more over here to reduce its cost. Then it will still be a sell on bounce. It's not a long term.
Where is from Subramaniam and he's from Chennai. He has around 20 shares of Piramal Pharma bought at a price of 138.6. He wants to know whether should he continue to hold or exit this counter. Saurabh, what would be your view on Piramal Pharma?
Pharma sector per se is looking good. I mean, the companies are coming out with the new drugs, and even the US market is looking good. Piramal Pharma is actually the numbers, last reported numbers were also good, and the company is making good inroad into the new drugs. So, in my sense, I think it is good to hold.
Thanks for that view coming in on Piramal Pharma. Let's also get our next query, and it's a host of stocks that they're asking about. So Saurabh, I'm going to come back to you. They're asking about J&K Bank, Pet Bank, as well as NHPC and BEL. So what is your view coming in here, and what is the kind of what are the kind of targets and the levels that you're looking at for all of these counters?
See, utility sector per se is looking good to me. NHPC, the management has guided that the numbers will remain muted. I mean, there would be no growth this year in FY25 compared to FY24, but the company has a lot of capex plan, and many of their capex will go on streamline the next 2 years. So, from 2-3 year perspective, I think it is good to hold. With respect to the J&K Bank, I feel there is a kind of some kind of a pressure on the banking sector because of the lower deposit accretion and the lingering effect of the interest rate cut by the US and then after by the RBI. So I think I feel maybe in the second half we'll see credit growth picking in. So I feel stay put in J&K Bank. With respect to the Bharat Electronic Limited, I think it is a very good company, but all in all, one can say that all the PSUs valuations have gone off the roof. So in that sense, if you have a horizon of more than 2-3 years, then it is good to hold.
Next query is from Swati. She is holding Oil India shares for the last 3 months, currently sitting on a gain of 5%. She is worried given the fact that a few days back her gains were around 35%, but now it has come down to just 5%, and she wants to know whether should she continue to hold this counter for the next 2 years. Saurabh, what would be your view here?
There is a good amount of slide in the crude oil prices because it is an upstream company, so it will have a direct bearing on the company's profitability and the revenues, and there will be a good amount of impact on the EBITDA margins too. Now the projections are that the outlook for the crude prices is around $60, despite the more supplies by the OPEC, and the expectation is that there would be lower demand going forward next year too. So, in my opinion, I think it is best. It would be best for her to exit this investment.
So that's an exit recommendation coming in for Oil India there, but I'm going to come back to you, Hemen, then, because Bayer Crop Sciences is what Pushkar Saxena is writing to us from Patna about, and they're asking that they have 17 shares at a price of 434 rupees. So what's your view coming in here as well?
Well, firstly, congratulations on a phenomenal investment. Stock seems fine. 6,600 is an important level to watch out for. I believe that should get taken out again. And if does that, further upside seems like a distinct possibility. The chart continues to have a bullish overview attached to it.
Okay, that was the view on Bayer Crop Science. The next query is from Jesna Begum from Calicut. She is holding 15,000 shares of Vodafone Idea, bought at a price of 13.3 rupees, and she's been holding this counter for the last 1 year. She's saying that the counter is too volatile and she wants to switch to some other stock, that is REC or PFC, as she's a long-term investor. Saurabh, any recommendation? Should she shift her investment from Vodafone Idea to PFC or REC?
I mean, it is always good to exit the Vodafone Idea because the balance sheet is not that in good shape. The company has lost so many subscribers. They have least ARPUs in the industry. After having hike on in the tariff, maybe the company will be able to manage some profitability on the EBITDA level. But still, things are quite difficult for the Vodafone Idea. It is better to exit. In my opinion, I think it is better to enter utilities, for example, SJVN or NHPC, or for that matter, companies like in the pharmaceutical sector like Natco Pharma.
All right, so look toward Natco Pharma and other utility companies that Saurabh just mentioned. But I'm going to come back to you, Hemen, because we have JMW who's writing to us from Rajkot. And they're asking about Dixon Tech, and what they have is 21 shares at a price of 13,303. So what are the kind of targets that you're looking at for Dixon Tech then?
Currently, consolidation supported 12,000. 13,400, 13,600 is a congestion area. Assuming that gets taken out, it will in few weeks probably. We are looking at 14,400 and upwards.
Okay. The next query is from Venu from Chennai. He has around 100 shares of Deepak Nitrite bought at a price of 3,005 rupees. He wants to know what could be the target for the next 3 months, Hemen, Deepak Nitrite.
If I can request him to extend this time frame a bit, then yeah, but 3-month target should be approximately 3,100. The longer term target would be 3,800.
All right, thanks, Hemen, for that view coming in there. We have Manish who's writing to us from Delhi about Suzlon, Saurabh. So they have their buy price is about, they're just asking about Suzlon, and they want to know if they should hold or book profits at this point.
I think we are seeing a good amount of turnaround in the Suzlon. The company has recently bought some stake in some company for their future expansions. The company has good order book. There has been good amount of restructuring in the balance sheet, and the company is on a looking to the company is looking to raise its profitability too. So in my opinion, I think it is good to hold.
The next query is from Naitik from Kanpur. He's holding 75 shares of SJVN bought at a price of 144 rupees. He wants the view for the next 12 to 18 months, Saurabh. And also he wants to know whether can he take a new entry when it comes to Protein eGov. Any views on SJVN and Protein eGov?
I think utility sector is looking very good to me. SJVN is a very good company. I mean, the company has good capex plans. In the next 2-3 years, you will see the capacity would increase by more than 1,500%, and the profitability will also rise. So, in my opinion, I think it is good to hold for the next 12-18 months. And above all, he'll be also getting good dividend yield too. With respect to the protein, I would not able to recommend anything as it is not in coverage.
Hemen, any technical view on Protein eGov?
A little bit of positivity of data, Sumit, but setup is fine. Thing is, it's doubled in very fast. So I would say one should wait for a time price correction. The outlook is bullish with the limited data that we have, but it needs to correct. It cannot just double and then run away from here. So it is in a consolidation as of now.
All right, Saurabh, I'm going to come to you. Ashok is writing to us from Bangalore about Aarti Industries. Buy price of 643 rupees, 200 shares is what he has. He's asking if you should add or sell at this point.
I think chemical sectors has gone through a rough patch, but things are looking that maybe things are bottoming out. The worst period is over. The company has good capacity, and whenever they will get opportunity, the existing capacity can be utilized to the full extent. Already, all the companies in the chemical sector are trying to utilize their capacity and letting off their margins go. But I think in the next 6 months, we can see some turnaround. So in my opinion, I think it is good to hold.
Okay. The next query is from Anita from Mumbai. She's holding few shares of HDFC Bank bought at a price of 1,518 rupees. She wants to know whether should she continue to hold or exit. Hemen, any views on HDFC Bank?
Well, after 3.5 years of doing nothing, it's anybody's guess, frankly speaking, Somit, as to when HDFC Bank will move. Nothing is bad. It's a bull market correction after a 20-year of move. But after 3.5 years, or is it 4 years? Yeah, almost 4 years, Somit, and it's range bound. So I would say if you have a slightly longer time frame, hold. You're running out of patience, you need to sell, but things are just about looking up, technically speaking.
All right, so that also answers Rebecca's question, who's writing to us from Calcutta. But she's also asking about 20 shares of ICICI Bank that she has at a price of 1,150 for Hemen. So, what is your view coming in for HDFC AMC as well as ICICI Pru there?
Okay, ICICI Pru is a different kettle of fish. Most of the insurance companies and she have done well after a long time. Whether it's HDFC, okay, HDFC Life came off, but ICICI Pru, Lombard, SBI Life Insurance, all have seen a sector breakout. So I would say longer term time frame, it's fine. I believe they've broken out after a long time. So in fact, at the risk of sounding overly optimistic, I think the next couple of years should do well. But ICICI Pru has moved from 520 to 770, 50% up in 4 months. I think we need to correct a bit. And the other stock you mentioned was?
The other stock that I mentioned was HDFC AMC.
Okay, the same story. Looks good, has had a brilliant run up. Is it time for a cool off? Yes, the setup is unequivocally bullish. That is not the concern, but once again, beautiful move. We need to sort of consolidate a bit.
Okay. Again, the next query is again for you, Hemen. It's from Pramod Deshmukh from Bangalore. He has purchased around 200 shares of Raymond at a price of 2,060 rupees. He wants to know whether what is the outlook and how is the stock looking like for the next 3 to 6 months on charts.
Okay, currently we've entered a consolidation phase. Read as an intermediate correction. Range is between 1800 2200. But yeah, if I go on the bigger time frame, we are in an up move and it's a correction within an up move. So I would say it's not a trend reversal. So hold if you can hold it for a slightly longer time, more than 6 months. But yeah, setup still remains technically positive.
Alright, so the setup is remaining technically positive when it comes to Raymond Lifestyle, and that's the view coming in from Hemen. But time for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue taking all of your stock related queries, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now. The next query is coming in from Balaji from Chennai. He has bought around 500 shares of Indian Overseas Bank at a price of around 49 rupees per share. He wants to know the next 6-month target on this and should he add more at current levels. Hemen, any view on Indian Overseas Bank?
Well, if it's a longer term time frame, I suggest it's a hold and you can add more. But if it's a shorter term time frame, no. It's corrective. It's going to take some more time to consolidate. And just one correction, the Raymond view was for Raymond Limited, not Raymond Lifestyle, because Raymond Lifestyle is very newly listed, just few days of data. So it was for Raymond Limited.
All right, thanks, Hemen, for that view coming in. I'm going to come back to you. We have a viewer who is writing to us about L&T Finance. 300 shares is what they have at a buy price of 188 rupees. 200 shares of ONGC as well at a price of 331. And Vedanta, 200 shares at a price of 467. So what should he do at this point is what he's asking.
Well, as far as L&T Finance is concerned, we remain safely ensconced in a longer term uptrend, but we need to close above 180 to appreciate further. Strong support at 155, 145. Once again, if your time frame is 12 to 15 months or ideally some more, a very clear hold. Same thing, same logic, not same logic, but the same technical view would apply on ONGC. It's moved from 50 to 345. We walked at a time and price correction. Overwhelming majority of PSU stocks are tired. They're recouping technically. So this is going to take some time. It might go down further. So if our viewer has the capacity to digest a further downside and has a 12 to 15 month view, when you see the hold, I don't think there's much to worry. In fact, if it comes to 235, one can add.
Okay. The next query is from Ranjan Karkera from Bangalore. He has around 100 shares of Tata Tech bought at a price of 1057 rupees. Saurabh, he wants to know the long term view on this counter.
I think long term for the because of the impending rate cut by the US Federal Reserve and the ensuing further rate cuts in the future, the sector for the IT sector outlook is looking good. I think the discretionary spend will increase from the US, and a lot of business these companies are generating from the US. In that sense, I think it can be a good hold. In my sense, keep it for the long term.
All right, so hold coming in on Tata Tech there. I'm going to come back to you, Saurav, because we have Madhukar who's writing to us from Hyderabad and they want to know about Birlasoft and they want to know at what level they can enter the stock then.
I think will be very difficult for me to give levels, but at the same time, I think, as I said, that the outlook for the IT sector is looking good to me. Birlasoft is a small cap company. I mean, it's relatively small company with a good amount of volatility in the margins too. But since the outlook is looking good, so in my sense, in my opinion, I think she can buy in a staggered manner.
The next query is from Ravi from Chennai and it's for you, Saurabh, again. He wants to know whether can he buy Medhani for long term.
I think overall the metal outlook murky in the sense that what is happening in the global arena. So we are not recommending any stocks in the metal space. So I would say avoid.
All right, so avoid coming in there. Hemen, I'm going to come back to you. We have a viewer who is writing to us from Bangalore. R. Ganesh is his name, and he's writing to us about BHEL. He has 400 shares. So, should he continue to hold or book and shift to other stocks? What is your view here?
Same thing. If you're holding it for 15 months or more, hold. You can expect 360 and upwards. Please keep in mind the stock has moved from 40 to 330 over the last couple of years. So you cannot run 2 marathons in a row. You need a technical time and price retracement, which it's undergoing. But it is a correction within the bull market.
Okay. The next query is from, okay, he hasn't mentioned his name, but he wants to know whether he can buy 1,000 shares of IDFC First Bank for the next 3 years. Saurabh, any view on IDFC First?
I think it is a very good bank with all the good ratios. The bank is seeing good credit growth, and they are coming with the very much client friendly policies in terms of waiving of various fees, which is helping this bank to gain a lot of traction. So, in my opinion, I think it can be a good hold for the next 3 years.
So good hold IDFC First Bank for the next 3 years, and that's the view coming in there. But I'm going to come to you, Hemen. We have a viewer who's writing to us about Ajanta Pharma at a buy price of 1,010 rupees. Hold or sell coming in here?
Hold. It's in an uptrend on all the time frame, short term, medium term, long term, clear blue skies, no known resistance levels. Hold.
Next query is from Imran from Kolkata. He has around 100 shares of Dalmia Bharat bought at a price of 1,963. He has been holding this counter for the last 5 months. Any view, Hemen, whether should he keep holding or book loss?
Yeah, I would suggest that we hold on to it for a bit more longer. The stock is consolidating with a positive bias. Indicators have turned bullish. So I would say hold. Levels to watch 1940, 2000. A weekly close about 2000 should take it to 2100 and more. So it's made a base. I think we're just expecting for a move to come in.
All right, Hemen, I'm going to come back to you. We have Ravindra who's writing to us from Hyderabad, and they have 300 shares of GICRE bought at a price of 360. Sell or hold? What is your rating here?
1 year hold, target 500.
Okay. The next query is coming in from Ryan from Calicut. He has around 5,000 shares of RVNL bought at a price of 193 rupees per share. Since there has been a reasonable correction in the share prices, he wants to know whether should he continue to hold this counter or book profits. He can continue to hold if he wants to for the next 2 years. Saurabh, any view on RVNL?
Well, the company is good, and but all the growth possibilities are actually baked in the prices, and now the valuations are on the higher side. That is why we are seeing good amount of correction in the PSUs. So if you have a horizon of more than 2-3 years, then it makes sense to hop into such company. Otherwise, avoid.
Right, so that's a conditional hold coming in there. But I'm going to come back to you, Hemen. Kaushik Mitra is writing to us from Mumbai about Inox India. He's not mentioned his buy price, but he's asking if he should shift funds from Inox India and look at a fresh entry in CDSL at this point.
Okay, different companies, different sectors. But yeah, Inox India is a relatively new listing. So once again, I have a little bit of shortage of data. Sideways movement supported 1160, need a close about 1260. Short-term bottom made, a medium-term situation might improve. But like I said, not too much of data to go on. And as far as CDSL is concerned, we've also walked into a much needed correction after a phenomenal move. So this is going to take time. So frankly speaking, uh, Inox doesn't look as if it's going to run away, and CDSL has just entered an intermediate correction. So neither look particularly compelling.
The next query is coming in from Prakash from Bangalore. He has around 50 shares of Titagar Wagon. Currently, he's sitting on a loss of nearly 25%. He wants to know whether should he continue to hold or exit from this counter. Any view on this, Saurabh?
I think if you have a long term horizon, say more than 2-3 years, then keep on holding. Do not average. The company has good order book and the opportunities are good. But at the same time, since the valuations are on the higher side, that is why we are seeing correction in the stock. So keep on holding for long term.
Saurabh, I'm going to come back to you. Jaya from Bangalore is writing to us about Hudco. 125 shares is what she's holding at a price of 250 rupees. That was a buy price. What is your view for the long term? What can she do here?
I think for the Hudco, I would say it is better to hold for the long term. Government has good plans for the for the housing sector, and in the first cabinet meeting itself, they have announced the policy for the same. So, in my opinion, I think one can hold Hudco.
Okay. The next query is from Sushila Billeri. She has around 1,467 shares of Ola Electric. Seems like she bought it at the IPO price and she wants to know whether should he continue to hold or exit. Saurabh, any view on this?
See, if you have bought on the IPO price, it is the only pure electric play in the market. That is why we saw a lot of interest coming in after the stock getting listed. So in my opinion, you can hold. Otherwise, at these prices, the stock looks expensive.
That's a hold coming in on Ola Electric. But time for a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of your stock related queries. So don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now. The next query is coming in from Richie from Andhra Pradesh. He has around 100 shares of SBI bought at a price of 600 rupees per share. He wants to know whether should he continue to hold this counter, book profits, or add more. Saurabh, what would be your view on SBI?
The largest PSU bank in the market, and recently the MD has changed, and he has come with a lot of experience. The bank is expecting a lot of activity to happen in the second half, and overall, I think the outlook for the banking sector is looking good to me. So I think it is good to hold.
All right, so overall, the outlook is looking good to Saurabh when it comes to the banking sector. So I'm going to come to you, Hemen. There's a viewer named Manoj who's writing to us from Mumbai, and he has 130 shares of IGL purchased at a price of 430 rupees per share, holding it for the last 8 months. But what is your view coming in here?
Yeah, as far as IGL is concerned, we've been consolidating for the last around 9 or 10 weeks, but the setup remains positive. I would suggest to hold only if it closes below 515. That would be the first indication of alarm bells ringing, which probably shouldn't happen. If that happens, then all bets are off. But we need a close of a 560 for it to appreciate further.
The next query is coming in from Maria Fernandez from Mumbai. She wants to know, Saurabh, your views on Torrent Power for long term and also on Bajaj Finserv.
I think Torrent Power is a very good play in the utility sector. The company is, all backward integrated. I mean, they are producing the electricity, and at the same time they are into the distribution also. They have taken a large projects in the Maharashtra also, and the stock has seen good amount of re-rating. I think it is a very good company to hold for the next 3 to 5 years.
All
With
right,
respect
so
to the Bajaj Finserv, I think all the insurance companies are making good progress in the Bajaj Finserv, so it makes sense to hold.
all right, so that's a hold coming in on Bajaj Finserv as well. I'm going to come to you, Hemen. Arun is writing to us from Gurgaon and he's asking about Birla Corp for a period of 2 to 3 years and he's looking to enter the stock. So what is your view here?
Okay, we've been relatively range bound for the last 2.5 years, and the higher levels haven't been sustained. But yeah, it has been an uptrend for the last what 19 or 21 years, and I don't think that picture changes. So yes, I think one can look at it from a 3-year point of view. Levels to watch: upside 1415, support is 1300 and 1220.
Queries coming in from Krishna from Bangalore. He's holding 50 shares of Mankind Pharma, bought at a price of 2,480. He's currently sitting on a loss on this counter. He wants to know whether should he add, exit, or average this counter. Any views on this, Hemen?
Yeah, I think it's a hold. The investor needs to know that I'm assuming he bought it in the last couple of weeks, if that is the correct assumption. Stock moves from 1900 to 2540. Wait for it to consolidate. But yeah, from whatever, okay, once again, caveat is that the data is relatively less, but we are in an uptrend, in an intermediate uptrend, so hold.
All right, so that's a hold coming in there. Hemen, I'm going to come back to you. We have a viewer who's writing to us about 55 shares of Garden Reach that they're holding. They're sitting at a huge loss at this point. So what is your recommendation here?
Well, honestly, if it was a trading view, a stop loss should have been triggered, and maybe it sounds like repetition, but 200 to 2800. I mean, there has to be the laws of gravity. They are going to take its toll. So if you have a very longer term view, hold. Otherwise, it's a sell on bounce. I mean, if the stock goes up 10 to 15 times, I think for the next 6 months or at least year and a half, it shouldn't do anything. It needs to technically recuperate. So I believe that is a sell on bounce if it's a slightly shorter term time frame.
The next query is from Balakrishna from Chennai. He's holding 22 shares of MTAR Tech, and he's currently incurring a loss of nearly 18% on this counter. Saurabh, should he continue to hold this counter, sell, or buy more? Any long-term views on MTAR Tech?
I think it is a very small company, but the market expects that the company would see huge growth, and that growth has already been baked into the prices. The valuations are on the higher side, and that is why we are seeing selling in this stock. In my sense, I think it is better to get rid of it. So my sense is better to exit.
So better to exit when it comes to MTAR, and that's the view coming in there from Saurabh. But I'm going to come back to you, Hemen, because Rahul is writing to us from Mumbai, and he has IDFC First Bank, 1,000 shares at a price of 76 rupees, as well as Equitas Small Finance Bank, 1,000 shares again at a price of 84 rupees. So what is your view coming in here?
14 months in a IDFC First Bank is down share. So setup isn't bad, but after 14 months, two things need to happen. It's in a downward slanting, without getting too technical, it's a downward slanting channel. We need a breakout, and the breakout comes in on a monthly close up of 84. Till then, do not expect anything significant to happen. And the other stock I think you mentioned was Equitas Small Finance Bank. Uh, we are in an intermediate downtrend, short-term bottom in place, oversold base formation happening. It's going to take time. The setup isn't particularly bad, but the way the indicators are placed, it is going to take some time to consolidate, then form a higher top, higher bottom. So once again, anything less than 6 months ain't going to work. A year or more, things should start better.
Okay. The next query is coming in from Chakravarti from Vijayawada. He has around 40 shares of Prestige Estates, bought at a price of 1,783. He wants to know whether should he continue to hold this counter or buy any other real estate company. Saurabh, any views on this?
I think it is a very good company of the south. It is a major player in the Bangalore market, coming up with the newer project even in the Delhi NCR region. So the company has very good growth plans, and in the past year they have taken care of their debt, selling their assets to the Blackstone. Now the company is on the growth path. So in my sense, I think it is good to hold.
So good to hold, and that's the view coming in there. We have Smita Vikram who's writing to us from Bangalore as well. Hemen, I'm going to come to you with this one because she's asking about Biocon that she's invested in for a period of 3 to 6 months at a price of 374 rupees. She's also asking if you have a target price in mind for this one.
Well, yes. Please extend it by 6 months more if possible. And if that is the case, a target price of 425 and 464. It's been an abysmal underperformer over a long time. Now it's coming to its own. Looks bullish on all time frames. Clear hold.
The next query is coming in from Siva from Chennai. He holds around 400 shares of Adani Ports, bought at a price of 1500 rupees. He wants to know the target for the next 2 months for Adani Ports. Hemen, any target on Adani Ports?
Okay, a 2 month target is difficult. If you ask me for a 1.5 year target, I'll tell you 2000 plus. But 2 month target, I would say around 1520.
For that view coming in there, we have Krishna Rao who's writing to us from Vijayawada. Saurabh, I'm going to come to you. They're asking if there are any stocks that you're bullish on for the next 5 years over the longer term. So what is your view here?
I think for the next 5 years, I think the first stock that comes to my mind in the Reliance industry. A lot of things are happening, and the demerger activity is likely to happen in the next 1 year or 2 years. So that will be unlocking shareholder value. In the utility sector, I expect that companies like SJVN make sense to hold. In the pharmaceutical sector, I would say it is better to go with the Netco Pharma. In the hospitality sector, Lemon Tree is looking good to me. And in the banking, one can go with the ICICI or Axis Bank.
Okay, the next query is coming in from Jaishri from Bangalore. She's holding 3 counters: Hindustan Zinc, Bharat Electronics and Hindustan Aeronautics. She wants the short-term target for all these 3 counters. She can hold these counters till March 2025. Hemen, any targets on Hindustan Zinc, Bharat Electronics and Hindustan Aeronautics?
Before the target, I like to give her a stop loss. Hindustan Zinc, Sumit has been down for 5 months in a row from 800 to 480. So become almost half and no signs of stopping. So firstly, we need to keep a stop loss at 430. That is one. The upside target, a conditional target is a weekly close up of 530, then a target of 610. Second one is Hindustan Aeronautics. Phenomenal move, intermediate correction. Support at 4500 would need a close up of 4950, target of 5500. And the last one that you mentioned was BEL, Bharat Electronics. A target of 325 by March next year.
Some key levels coming in on Hindustan Zinc, BEL as well as HAL from Hemen. But I'm going to come back to you, Saurabh, because Venkat is writing to us from Chennai and he has 900 shares of HUL that he's been holding for the past 7 years. He's asking what your view is here.
It's a very it's a large cap company in the FMCG space. The stock has done nothing in the last 5-7 years. Even if you have invested in the money in the index fund, then also you will be able to double your money. So in my opinion, I think it is better to get rid of HUL. And if you want to be in the FMCG space, then one stock that is coming to my mind is Heritage Food. Switch your money to the Heritage Food. It is into the dairy products, dairy business. 65% of the business comes from the milk and 35% comes from the other dairy products. So the company is on a good growth path. I think you'll be able to make a good amount of money if you switch over this investment.
Next query is coming in from Kuldeep Marwa from Mumbai. He's holding around 17 shares of Siemens India. He wants to know, should he continue to hold this counter for long term? Saurabh, any view on this counter?
I think it is a very good company to hold. At the same time, the valuations are on the higher side. But if you have a long-term view, say more than 2-3 years, then it makes sense to hold.
All right, so thank you for your view coming in there, Saurabh. But with that, we're completely out of time. Thank you so much for taking time out, gentlemen, for joining us today. But with that, we're completely out of time on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. From me, Shreyansi Singh, Soumi Sarkar, as well as the entire team that put this show together. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't go anywhere because the markets at noon takes all of the action forward.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.